Hey guys, it's Doris, and I am reviewing the Darkside of the Ring episode FMW Oshida's Blood and Wire episode. I thought this episode was pretty good. I didn't have too much experience. I watched a couple of matches of FMW back in the day. I do believe that if it wasn't for Atsushi Onita, we probably wouldn't have the hardcore wrestling that we have today. At the same time, I think he created a new thing. He kind of came over here, worked with Terry Funk, learned a lot of Terry Funk's hardcore wrestling tactics, and I think he just took that and made something that no one else really didn't think much of, especially back then. I think that a lot of people, especially here, I don't think people would have gone to that extreme. If you think about it, I don't believe we ever had an exploding ring match. Yes, AEW tried to do it, and they failed. It wasn't the degree of a match that we saw with FMW. I think that they took the fire match where they lit the ring ropes on fire. They took that to a incredibly dangerous level, and I think that was what they were known for. That's what became expected from Onita. I think that a lot of the fans expected him to do better and outdo himself every time. And I think that's ultimately what ended up causing the trouble they had when Onita retired. A lot of other promoters and presidents, if you have, wouldn't go to the degree that Onita went to. They wanted to be on network television, which, if you remember in the episode, they said that they weren't shown on network TV because of the violence. They were only shown on specials, which I would assume would be like, for instance, when ECW first came out, they were only on pay-per-view. No network wanted to take on ECW because of the hardcore violence of it. So I can relate to that. Back in the day, they wanted to change it a little bit, but I think they changed it so much that, like they said, they lost the majority of their fan base because they went from hardcore barbed wire fire matches, fire pokers, exploding rings, to the electrical pools, to entertainment, which I don't think that was the way Onita looked at FMW. I think that's why he made it the way he did. So I think that it was very enlightening, especially for those of us in the States that maybe weren't really exposed to the shows. Yeah, you can see some of the matches on YouTube now, but I don't think we would ever see it to the degree that it was back then. I'm sure a lot of stuff would be edited out, and it's sad that we saw the death of a lot of people involved, like Soichi Arai. He ended up, I believe they said, taking his own life because he owed money to the mafia. And I'm sure that especially there, the the Mafia was involved in a lot of the bigger things, a lot of the arenas, so I'm sure they had a lot of input. And just recently, Onita announced that he would be starting a FMAW for Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling Explosion, a promotion under FMW name that specialized in exploding deathmatch, which is what made him famous. And he said that he got that idea that it would still be popular because of AEW's Revolution. And if you watched the match that they showed between Onita and Terry Funk, that is, it kind of made AEW's match look even stupider, because Eddie pretty much did the same exact thing Onita did for Terry Funk. He pretended to try to wake up Mox and then covered Mox to protect him. So in my mind, I almost want to say that I don't know if an American company would be able to do it to the degree that Onita did, and apparently still wants to do, because I think that in our culture we have too much red tape. We have too many safe clauses, or I just don't know if it would work. I would love to see someone try, but I don't think it would go off as well here in the States as it would in Japan. But it would be interesting to see if Onita does indeed end up making a wrestling organization built off of just specializing in exploding death matches. I think it would be great. But like I said, I don't, especially not only the culture, but also the type of wrestler that is put out today. We talk about it all the time. I don't see the wrestlers today doing what Terry Funk, Onita, Cactus Jack, or Mick Foley did. They come close, like Moxley can do a decent hardcore match, but it would just be interesting to see if that type of competition between organizations could be up. I know I'm excited about it. I would be interested to keep my eye out to see if it does happen, but I thought it was a good episode. Like I said, I think it brought to light different styles of wrestling for those that never got exposed to New Japan or Pro Japan wrestling. So yeah, and I think it showed that we're not, in my mind, we're not the best as far as wrestling organizations, which I know we've talked a lot about before. In a lot of ways, I do believe that New Japan and Mexican lucha wrestling outdoes American wrestling in a lot of ways. And I think that's why a lot of American wrestlers go to Japan and Mexico in their training. So yeah, I thought, like I said, I thought this was a great episode. And it did. It shed a lot of light on the matches that we could only dream would happen today. I will try to keep an ear out and an eye out on the FMW explosion to see if I hear any rumblings about it. But yeah. Alright guys, so that was my take on it. I know that some people find a lot of controversy in it because there are injuries, but let's face it, even in regular wrestling, there's injuries. And to be the best, you have to outdo your competitors. But I know for me, I would love to see it again. And I know a lot of the old wrestling fanatics would love to see something like that. I know some people don't like the blood and gore of wrestling, but I know a lot of people do. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode if you watched it. If you didn't, I highly suggest you do. Like I said, it shed a lot of light on the origins of hardcore wrestling, in my opinion. Yes, we had some hardcore wrestlers here, Terry Funk, Mick Foley, but they spent a lot of their time in Japan and Mexico. Alright guys, let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Love ya. Peace. Bye.